is the opponent.
Well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending where you are in the world listening to us today. Welcome back to Game 8 of the North American qualifier of the MRDA playoff cycle. I'm Dan Under. Today we are looking at Race City versus Minnesota Midnight Terrors. We're a few seconds away from getting underway, and during breaks and play we'll go through the roster, but right now we are off. And up on the line, number one is Shaggy up against Fire Wally. Fire Wally makes away with the lead jammer status, and Shaggy comes out just behind, taking the helmet cover off, which does seem to help him get out of the pack. Then he's coming around the back with Fire Wally hitting the back wall there, not scoring any points yet. Desperation move just before the jam ends, calls it off, scores a single point through to Shaggy's none. First jam's done, 1 point Race City, 0 points Minnesota. We have Doc Flatliner up against Merlin. Doc Flatliner's up front, getting a bit of trouble through with the Midnight Terror defenders really locking him down, but unfortunately, a bit of multiplier action there. But he as soon as the penalty's called, he gets through. Doc's coming back around again for scoring pass. Meanwhile, Merlin is stuck behind a wall of magical intensity. And Doc's up on his scoring pass this time. Second scoring pass coming through. Another 5 points as Merlin really is struggling to summon the right spells to get through this pack here. Bit of assistance coming in from the penalty box, opening up a lane, but not quite enough to get through there. And Doc being recycled all the way to the back, still in his third scoring pass now. And a quick star pass to York, who's a bit fresher and fighting up against the line. Race City's really giving him trouble, though. And their defense they've got shown so far this morning in these 2 old jams I'm talking about have been very good.
Coming in, trying to break through that really tough Race City wall.
York finally makes it out of the pack this time. Doc, who's looking a little bit puffed, says, yeah, I'm done with this one. And sets the reset button. And we have Egon Strangler wearing his usual number today. Up against fellow first-time jammer for today, Les Brawl. Judge Injury calls a quick official review. Official timeout. And they're going to talk about something that they saw they want to really talk about.
Officially, I like that. Officially, yeah. I like how you make up words. You know, I was Shakespeare. If that kid could make up like 1,000 new words in the Sure. We'll give you 3. There you go. That's another one. Now listen, don't just randomly throw out words. You're going to use up your 3 way too quickly. And you see, that's crazy, they know exactly what you're doing.
And we don't know what that...
All right, so with the whistle, not a whole lot of movement here from our pass. Full 5 on 5.
And we don't know what that official timeout was about. They wanted to talk about something they'd seen they didn't like. This time, action's back on, and Les Brawl makes it out of the pack first, up against Egon Spangler again.
They were just checking amongst themselves to make sure that they didn't miss a cut track penalty. And the consensus was, no, cut track penalty did not occur. An official review wasn't required by either team. We move on with our group play.
So, 42 on the right side. Egon Strangler.
Oh, we got a shoot.
There we go.
Egon Strangler coming through, having completed his initial pass. Les Brawl still trying to make his way through the pack. Takes a shot right at the end. I imagine it's a 3. Nope, it's a full 4-point pass. Sorry, is there a thumb? 5. Yes. They're at such an angle that the thumb is not apparent to me.
He's got little tiny thumbs too.
His wee little thumbs.
Wee little thumbs. It's almost as if the Pixies left them. And I'm joined on the microphone now by Julius Leather.
Hello. Fire Wale out. Up against Wicked Bombshell. Bomb blasting through the pack so far. Twin City Terrors get in position, all 4 of them concentrated up front. Got the 3 wall with the hangers on in case recycling is in the future.
Yeah, they're really trying to hold back the jams from both sides there. This time, Race City called on a multiplayer block. And now, out of play engagement, a brief no pack, during which time someone decided to give Wally a bit of a hit, and you just can't do that. Well, I suppose you can.
You can.
You shouldn't, and you'll get dinged for it.
Think about it.
Yeah, and Carr's sitting here having a think for 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's all right. So Wally does have lead jammer status for the Twin City Terrors. Should be their first point scored. So nice. First scoring pass, 5 points.
And our first jammer penalty here as Kid takes the star. It's a common recipient of the star for star passes in the last game that I saw. Race City getting into a bit of penalty trouble here, trying to staunch the bleeding. And Wicked Bombshell, who was the jammer, passed it over to the star. Kid went to the box from that, and Wicked Bombshell followed into the box with a penalty of their own. A nice multiplayer block. Sometimes you're just trying a little bit too hard to get those jammers from passing you.
Kid back in play. Gets knocked into the inside when he's nearly through. He's going to have to come about a quarter of the way the track back. In the meantime, Wally is busting through. Lastly, facing off against number 14, Johnson. Calling off that jam. That was an 18-point jam. So for the first time scoring in the game, that was how you do it. So now 18-24, still in favor of Race City.
Yeah, and suddenly it's a very close game.
All right, out there we've got Maryland up against Shaggy.
Shaggy's lead, but doesn't quite get out there cleanly. Hung up, robbed a few seconds, so that's good defense from the Terrors.
Maryland getting recycled as far back as possible. Meantime, Shaggy coming through for 5.
Yeah, Chuck Norris really throws someone up and into the ground.
So Maryland has the star in his hand, but there we go. He is intending to pass it and does so.
And once again, York with the star. That's the second time York's taken the star, forcing the call off and closing down that scoring run.
So Shaggy picking up a total of 14 points on that jam, 38-18.
This jam we have the more familiarly numbered Egon Strangler. There we go.
He started.
The number's throwing me again today.
Yeah, now I'm not expecting his proper number.
Yeah, different colors, different numbers.
Yeah. Dak Flatliner, Race City has lead jammer status. He's plowing into the pack. Trickett is driving his way through. Looks like Twin City is disinterested in becoming points.
Gee, really?
Yeah.
They just decided that today.
I don't know. When I'm skating, I'm like, let's go. I'm your point. Because I'm friendly like that.
Also, it is often said of you.
Not terribly fast. Will I be remembered for my good nature? Who knows?
As much as any of us. And Les Brawl here up against Firewally. Firewally's had a lot of success so far this period.
Les trying to take to the outside, taking it to the inside now. Does get lead jammer status. And did he make it? Oh, wait. Oh, he's going to maybe think about. Nope. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
He was like, "Where do I call it?" And they're like, "Well, you cut the track, so probably don't bother."
You can try calling it.
Yeah,
but,
if you want. If you
as long as you do it leaving the track, otherwise you might be a little bit insubordinate.
He looked so subordinate, though, that everything was fine.
He looked more like, what, me? No, I couldn't have. Look at this face. Would you penalize this face?
I would have called you on an insubordination for that nonsense.
Yes, but I'm not Les Brawl.
Yeah, that's true.
And we're all thankful for that.
So Wally still looking to do some damage. Les Brawl is now back in. So pretty good penalty kill overall.
Yeah. I mean, Wally's been scoring more freely than this typically.
It's another 5-point pass for Wally.
Zechner really chasing him all the way up the front, trying to keep that score kill as long as possible. But out of play says, you stop.
Mm-hmm. So Les Brawl now on having completed his initial pass again.
Yeah, it looks like he must have stepped inbounds on the apex and kept going. And 2-minute jam ahead of us. And Firewally in the box. Les Brawl's out of the box, doing little moose things on his head as a jammer communication to his team. I don't know.
Little moose things?
He's doing little...
Oh, is that a moose where you come from?
Like they're a meese. Meese, is that the plural of moose?
I don't know.
Like they're a meese where I come from.
I feel like you're short-circuiting, sir. Like we're in meese country, are we not? I haven't seen any, but it's what Wikipedia told me.
I saw a stuffed one with a Mounties uniform in a store earlier.
There you go.
Yeah.
They let him be police here? Fine.
Sure.
Fine.
I know that Canada has a proud tradition of honouring its First Peoples.
It's true.
So why not be more inclusive? We should all do an extra dose of inclusivity in our lives.
No joke. All right. So Shaggy does have lead. Wally is now back in play with Star in hand.
And he's passed it off.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure. He's been doing a good job as jammer, but I think maybe 2 in a row might be too much for him.
Yeah. Or maybe just more advantageous. Samson further up front or something like that. Hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, normally when you set that up, you'd send in one of your line jammers as the pivot, but this time Samson took the star, and he's not one of their starting lineup.
Right. So 51-29, we're about to go into Jam 9. We've got 17-10 left in this half.
So Jam 7 being indicative of gameplay, as we all know.
Yeah.
Yes. Went through fairly penalty heavy, so I don't know what that has to say about the rest of period 2 as it might
We'll have to wait until
unfold.
Jam 18 to really make decisions on that one.
It's true. I mean, that really concretes the flow.
Lead jammer status goes to Doc Flatliner. Merlin's still trying to bust through. Star in hand once again. Woo! That's amazing. Doc Flatliner, similar to an antelope over the apex. Were antelope inclined to jump apices. In the meantime, Merlin's still held back. Doc is going to call it off as he slips through the pack one more time.
Yeah, Merlin's not had quite the success he had last
No.
night as the jamming.
No.
It is still young.
Basically, even as far as a whole lot of abilities to speak of 5-on-5 as we get into this next jam. Your jam line for Minnesota is Egon Sterling, number 42, and number 02.
Hoosier hospitality. That's what was just said between the two benches.
That's it makes a change from who's your daddy.
Oh my God. Everybody's fired right now. I might just fire myself to be away. All right, everybody's getting penalized right now. Oh, nope, it's just number 64. Ugly. Just seemed like a lot of whistles. Everybody's eyes on him, I guess. Wicked Bombshell trying to press through.
Yeah, sometimes you huff and you puff and the house just doesn't come down.
I know how that goes.
Yeah.
All right, another Rebel seated in the box.
Egon finally makes it out of this mess. Bombshell's still caught up there, being chased down by some of the terrors, but made it out just fine. Egon being given the keep it going signal from his bench coach, so I guess they decided the points isn't so much as important as running the clock down.
Egon popping through on the outside without a lot of trouble. 5 more points. So now
Yeah,
a
the
9-point jam for the Twin City Terrors.
And thumb class hero, the jammer ref there with his tiny, tiny little thumbs.
Ooh, Well, it was an awesome apex jump, and it was ended with Johnson knocking him.
All that really did is it changed the differential slightly.
So you remember last night when Egon was Slammerai Jack? I was told he lost his jersey, like he just left it somewhere. Later, he told me he traded it for a cooler jersey. Like I think it was.
Was it Samurai Jack's jersey by any chance?
Samurai Jack's jersey. He traded it for. I want to say it was like a Team Japan jersey or something. It was something that he really wanted, and then he didn't. He didn't get a black jersey back in time, so then he got to be Jack for the night.
I suppose it's less confusing than trading it for the black Japanese jersey and trying to use that tonight.
I don't have clothing I can trade with anyone, so I'm not sure what to do. I'm like, do you want to trade button-ups? Anyway, Shaggy, lead jammer for the Rebels. Firewally out there for Twin City Terrors. Grimace headed to the box.
Small smirk on his face, so I think he's happy with the work, even though ended up...
He's fine with it.
Yeah, sometimes you go to the penalty box and you go, you know what, I'm still pleased with what I've done.
Worth it. So is 2 more points for the Rebels. Nothing picked up that time for Minnesota. 13-17 left in this half. 65-42, still Rebels in the lead.
And that was a 2-point jam for Ray City.
And lining up this jam, we have Doc Flatliner against Merlin. This is a lineup we've seen 4 times already. We'll see if it continues at the same time as the rest we've seen. Doc's been a pretty good scorer for the Ray City, so...
I thought it was going to happen. I was like, Merlin was killing it last night. He's having trouble getting past these walls, though, and as I saw yesterday, Ray City does an excellent job of walling up, keeping him back, and having that one person floating on the outside in case they get knocked out to recycle back. So,
yeah, it's almost like they're pinballing someone. They're knocking him out to the outfield where there's one person there just to pop him back and run back. It's almost like they've drilled it.
A human flipper. Flatliner coming through for his first scoring pass. 4. Wait, where's the thumb? Okay, it was 5.
You should never ask a guy that question.
And this is where I leave. Bid you adieu.
And you, adieu.
See, that one was 4 points. I knew where the thumb was that time. So right now, 9 points. Flatliner coming in once again.
Ooh.
Huge hit. It's not going to stay down, though, thankfully.
Yeah, we don't need that. Nobody needs that.
Nope. Says Karl Marksman, I believe.
Karl Marksman learning the unit price of work. And Doc, looking tired, decides that clock's running short on that jam. Not going to score anything else. Let's just sit down for a bit.
Gray City with an additional 18 after the end of jam 12. Now extending their lead to 83. Minnesota holding at 42. 11 minutes remaining in the first half. And
All right, a team timeout is being called by Minnesota.
Yeah, when there's absolutely no white team skaters on the track, I think maybe there's a timeout coming.
Wow. So I usually go to tournaments in the hopes of making friends, and I guess you come hoping to lose them. That's cool. Whatever. It's fine.
Apparently, I've learned a thing about myself today.
Oh, buddy.
All right, Nerd Roller Skates. This is a timeout brought to you by our friends in the Nerd Roller booth, right behind us here.
It's just Dev.
Our friend in the singular, present tense.
So they've got everything you need for roller derby and beyond. Free shipping across Canada for orders over $150, and you can visit them at nerdskates.com.
And with the price of gear, $150, that's so easy to get through if you want more than one thing.
You've ordered one of the two skates.
Yeah, that's right.
A quarter of a plate. Yeah.
Well, I just need it a little bit longer, those extended pieces.
Yeah.
has been super gracious.
Trying to do a sports mount.
So thanks again so much.
All right, back underway. Les Brawl facing off against Egon Strangler.
Les Brawl being sent back a long way. And Egon making it out of the pack, getting lead. This is a familiar story for Egon. He's been on fire today.
Quad Almighty having a seat in the box. 4 points scored by Egon, and then he calls it off.
Gets a single point through. Sometimes looking at your coach going, yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that can be a little bit too many yeses, and you get to give away a point.
It happens. It happens.
Still 4-1 in that jam, 84-46. They can probably afford to drop a point, but you really don't want to do that too often,
Yeah. Just heard Mamie announce that his name is Les Brawl and not Le Brawl, which is what I was told by his own team.
Yeah, but his own team's been messing with us all weekend about everything. So I'm not trusting nothing.
Oh, no. I just kept alternating, like, fine. This is the game you want to play? Let's go. All right, Shaggy. Only one way to pronounce that. Yes, that's Shaggy. Coming in for his first scoring pass. Wally's still in there trying to make it through. So a 5-point pass, first go through for Shaggy.
And he's coming around for more Scooby snacks.
Wouldn't it be coming around for a really tall sandwich? Pack about mid-clip. Shaggy not having as good luck coming through this time. Does make it through, but also picks up a track cut. It only takes a little bit out of bounds to get the track cut.
2-minute jam, but they've another star pass.
There's only 40 seconds left. It sounds so deflated.
Yeah, Baron Von Beans takes the star this time. But, when you think about that control, it's like, oh, man.
Yeah. Well, by my count, this is the third power jam the Rebels have given up in the game so far.
And Johnson gives Beans the beans, I guess, really, and knocks him out of bounds. Has to cycle him back.
You weren't going to go with Barons? No.
Wrong skaters. One of the other skaters out here needs new bearings fairly badly.
Right. Oh. Was that this team?
Well, it was...
5 points apiece for our teams to finish it off.
Is it?
Let's see. Gray City picking up 10.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Minnesota with additional 5.
Were you here sometimes you can hear people's bearings as they go by. And I learned that last night. I thought it was the floor the whole time. Because, like, you know, you've been skating and you can hear the sport cord under your feet. So that's what I thought I was hearing until I realized there's only one of them.
Yeah, really gives you the sound of, oh, someone's going to hurt real soon.
This next jam brought to you by cleaning your bearings for safety.
Skate maintenance. It's a thing.
If you don't know how, have a friend show you.
Maybe someone a bit geeky.
Maybe he just
or
wants to build up
nerdy.
his legs. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he wants to play for Team Bionic at some point.
I skated on frozen bearings one time, and I was like, oh my God, why do my legs hurt so bad? It was a double header. And I was like, well, my quads are doing great. And then I realized the bearings were frozen. It was like 6 of 8 or something were like frozen, or my wheels were frozen up. But it's really strong legs, just saying.
Yeah, one-sided though, right?
Cheap workout.
It's lower leg day. That's pretty more specific than most workouts.
It was horrifying. All right, Doc Flatliner back out and into play momentarily. The Twin City Terrors ready for him to come back. All 4 of them concentrated in the back as Egon Strangler leans his weight against the front wall of Rebels. One of them's called out, is Quad Almighty called out for multiplayer block. Egon is knocked out to the outside and is recycled back behind Chuck Norris.
Yeah, well, good work there.
As we all scrum together at turn 3.
Quad Almighty entering the penalty box with his pivot cap on a jaunty angle. It's nice to have such high spirits.
Did it. Doc Flatliner took quite a bit of effort to get past those last few blockers, but he is through, having completed his initial to no avail, as Egon is just not having it.
Yep.
Actually, I think that might have been the natural conclusion. Did he call it? It seemed like a really long jam.
It was, yeah. He definitely tapped his hips. That doesn't mean it wasn't necessarily called
I think there was only a couple seconds left then, because I was like, ooh. That was awkward. Because Quad Almighty accidentally left early, so I think he's going to sit for another 30. Anyway, Fire Wally, lead jammer for the Terrors. Les Brawl is out there once again for the Rebels, and nearly through. And there we go, Les Brawl having completed his initial. Le Bois. As Wally comes through, pops to the pack, calls it off. Once he picked up, imagine 4? Yes, 4.
4 points, yeah. This is the Wally we saw yesterday, a lot more.
Yes.
I've just sort of casually going through and saying, I'm done now.
Right.
I've done my good, and now I'm going to sit down for a bit and I'm going to do more good. At least that's what I imagine what
regenerate,
he's
yeah. It's hard to do good. That is why I do not. I've only got so much energy. Statman is trying to do shaggy jokes.
Egon Strangler through the pack now, number 42.
Shaggy's caught up there by an angry housekeeper. It was the caretaker all the time, you know. Didn't stop Egon busting through for another round of 5 points.
It's all these meddling kids. That's the trouble.
Let's get off my track.
All right. Egon calling it off after that.
Short, 6 point jam.
Yeah, you got
Skate.
this. Yep. All of those.
How many words? Semi-syllables.
Spinny.
Animal,
He
vegetable,
went
or mineral?
spinny. And then he was
Spinny
like,
thing.
I'm done.
DJing.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It's exactly. Stepped off track to scratch a record, and then he was like, calling it. Done.
Dropping a mic.
Not one of ours, though. Not sure
No,
who
I
was-
can't
who
afford a
owns these.
microphone. I don't own a Cadillac.
Right. Somebody asked me like the other day, they're like, hey, can you come announce this? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, do you have your own mic? And I was like, ah, you're cute. Of course, I will not buy a mic that's not the $1 zillion mic. That's my own problem. Anyways, Merlin has lead jammer.
Both channels free of the pack. Merlin around.
As I,
You mean Doc Flatline has?
yeah, sorry. Doc Flatliner's got lead jammer as, see, now the colors have messed with me.
Yeah.
I've seen
right.
Ray City in both colors, and then last night when they switched, I was like, I can't get a hold of this. my brain will not comprehend this. And now they've switched back, and I'm like, oh. Anyways,
So.
it's a 2 to 3 jam. How's that? I got that part right.
Yeah, right. So if anybody's listening is in the arena, Sleazer would really love another Rockstar Energy.
It's a Taco Cat. 9669 Taco Cat. I know the word for it now, but I don't use it.
Yeah, there's a song about that. They might be giants.
I was like, is it a They Might Be Giants song?
Yeah.
I only know the one about Istanbul and how it's.
You know they've
not-
done many more than just that one,
Yeah,
right?
I know, but I don't care. Oh wait, that's Scroll Nut Zippers, isn't it? Nope. I'm just gonna leave it. I have no knowledge of music after like 1980, so I'm not gonna start pretending now. Anyways, Fire Wally, lead jammer for Twin City Terrors. Les Brawl out there for Race City. Grimace now returning to the track. One Terror blocker still in the box.
So Grimace is back on the track, but somewhere the Hamburglar is looking for him.
I really appreciated all of the high level of sportsmanship I've seen all weekend at this tournament.
That's what I have.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I got. That's what I got.
I don't know much about McDonald's, but I know that much.
Well, I started trying to think, do I know the mythos of McDonald's well enough to join in on this? I don't.
No.
I'm like, were they friends?
No, I thought they were.
I have no idea.
I thought they were rivals. If anyone has the answer to this, hashtag talk to MRDA.
I guess.
I guess.
Text me.
Yeah, right. Seriously, messages.
I don't see Statman chiming in on that one. Weird.
In the meantime, there's some nice jammer and jammer action going out there. Oh, wow. Merlin really put the stops on Bombshell there. Whew.
It's a fairly thick pack moving at not a lot of speed at all.
Wow, Bombshell really ducked in and turned.
Ooh, gosh.
There was that lovely
Okay.
multiplayer block, and they just went nope and ducked straight under it.
Absolutely not. Egon this time having a lot of trouble getting through. Again, this is something we saw with Race City yesterday, is the tendency to concentrate all blockers on the opposing jammer. One of them did come back to try to rescue Shell from behind this very tall wall. Egon now taken to the outside, has completed his initial. Of course, Shell has lead, can call it off when she likes.
Yeah, I think she likes some points. That's what she likes. There it is.
Not to be greedy, but that's what I'm interested in. That was 2 more points for Race City. Nothing picked up that time by Minnesota. And that is going to take us into half with 98 to 76.
Once again, the scoreboard says 14 and a bit minutes until play. I'm going to say be back in 9 and a bit minutes
Yeah.
because that seems to be the thing.
Find out. I like. Wait. Oh. I didn't unplug this time. An official review's been called by Race City. Don't go anywhere.
Since it was called after the end of the period, this will be taken during the
There you go. Just so you guys know, Salish C-Slam, folks were asking if there were men's tank tops yesterday.
And another
They have been
timeout.
So there are some men's Salish C-Slam tank tops, the red with the white imprint. If you're interested in men's tanks, there are ladies as well. Make sure you head over to the table and check it out. And an update that the rear garden will be open at noon, so you'll have to wait 24 more minutes for your possibly ribbon.
Alright, they don't get played.
Yeah, or apparently, as I'm told, you're supposed to just call it PBR and everybody's supposed to know what I'm saying.
So, of course, live feed costs money. Maybe not for you, but for other people. But you can contribute to that if you'd like to by sending anything you like to finance@mainlandmisfits.com via PayPal, I should say. I guess. Was that?
Yeah, they're deliberating. They're going to give the 10-minute time halftime, and we'll probably hear the results at the end of that. Oh,
Sure. Wait. Mamie knows.
Race City, they were challenging the number of points.
They were challenging the number of points that were given to Race City,
Upon review, the officials said that was the correct number of
and the officials were like,
points as it was.
2
No.
points is 2 points.
"Yeah, it's 2
That's
points."
all you get.
Yeah. And so I'll be on my way.
Indeed.
All right.
All right, we'll see you in about 10.
Cool.
Bye.
Nerd Roller Skates is your dedicated quad roller skate shop in Calgary, Alberta. Being a nerd is about being really excited and really passionate about a really specific thing. And the thing that we are really excited and passionate about is roller skates.
Nerd roller skates, for people who roll.
So we are about 47 seconds away from getting back to gameplay. We went into the half 98-76 in favor of Race City. Give me the bracket.
All right, welcome back to the track here as we look to a half.
So from this point,
And we're just about to get into the second half here. Again, as a reminder,
Game 8, yeah.
with this game, we'll go on to play at 5 o'clock today. Play final game of the day, actually. It'll be Denver.
so I find brackets confusing. I think
there's-
somebody's filled this out
Rain in
having not
Minnesota.
finished it. Yeah. Well, so there's even a score by this one. I think somebody just like
No,
misfilled
this is
this
this
out.
game.
Yeah, I know.
There's
but
no score.
they've already put.
The score for that game, which is game 6.
Ooh.
You really can't read brackets, can you?
Well, that was a test, and you passed. Good work.
So I'm not fired anymore. That's nice to know. And Fire Wally is out of the pack first for lead. Meanwhile, Doc's held up and forcing his way through, bending the blockers to his will, and eventually making it out of the pack on his initial pass.
All right, calling it off. Doc Flatliner. Twin City Terrace picked up 4 points that time, bringing them up to 80. Race City still sitting at 98. What I was trying to get at is the winner of this game will play Denver at 5 o'clock today. Got
Today.
that part.
One of the big qualifiers, the big
It
Q
is.
in the NAQ
One
of this
the-
event name.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of action
So we've got Merlin up again. Let's see if he's changed his halftime talk, whether that's helped him regain some of the performing he had earlier the weekend.
Ooh. Nearly tiptoed through on the outside, didn't quite make it. Les Brawl in there did about the same thing, nearly through on the outside, is going to have to come back behind.
So one thing that used to happen was people would drop back and they'd raise their hands going, woo, you're cutting me, you're
Look
cutting
at
me.
me.
But
Yeah.
now with the seeding rules, it's like
I know.
you have to seed me, you have to seed me. I'm
Right,
not sure
right.
whether that still gives the same psychological win, I think. But would the penalty draw be better? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever gets you through the night, maybe. So Merlin does have lead jammer status this time for the Twin City Terrace. Les Brawl coming in right behind him, having been knocked out. Merlin nearly plowing through the front of the pack I assume he was going to try to take them out, but the pack has already caught up with him. Les Brawl takes to the outside and is through, having completed his initial. And Merlin calls it off as he exits the pack.
Deciding that Les Bois doesn't need to score any points.
So it's a
Les Brawl.
5-point pass for Merlin, which I can't say in an accent, so.
Milan. It'd be French though.
Would it?
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Well, it doesn't have the Latin structures, but
Not
it's
at all.
but the tales of the time went through the Norman.
I don't like it.
You know, like
I feel like, well, how do you pronounce it in French then? Meh.
Milan.
Isn't that wine?
That's Malheur.
My bad. All right, Shaggy out there for the Rebels. Pressing so hard up against this Triforce of chairs. Not quite able to make it.
And Shaggy makes it out in the mystery van. Hooray.
Shaggy plowing through. Once again, we'd like to remind everybody that Jam It Dim is not a white-tailed rabbit. Egon, there we go, hopping through.
Hat off, hat on. No, he doesn't quite put it on. Jam gets gold. It's like, nah, don't need it.
No. Sometimes it's just enough to get out, you know. I feel like almost, I don't remember this weekend having seen a Star Pass that actually got points. I probably did, but more often than not, I feel like they pop out of the pack and then it's like, oh, you forced the call.
Well, I mean, that's the purpose for the most part. There definitely have been, because we've had 2-minute jams where there's Star Pass. So, you know, hate to throw facts in your...
well,
I'm fired again,
everything's
aren't
a
I?
test.
Yeah.
Just keep going. I meant aside from the times when there was a lead jammer and a star pass.
The star pass wasn't from the person who was lead jammer.
And
'Cause we've
Mercury-
seen that this weekend.
And Mercury was in retrograde.
It's always in retrograde.
It's not always in retrograde.
Seems like it.
It can't be.
Well, no one talks about it unless it's in retrograde.
Then they would just say it's Mercury. If it was always in retrograde, they wouldn't need a word for it. Anyway.
And there we have some points on a star pass where there was a lead jammer in the track. Now, in my defense, the points were scored before he was sent off the penalty. So the announcer's curse strikes in a fairly epic way.
Also, Firewally cutting the track is having a seat in the box, so he's giving up a power jam to Kid from Ray City. So now, right after that happened, it turns into the two-minute jam with no... Everything's happened all at once.
But the hips were passed before that penalty was issued.
It's true.
And both teams caught up in their own defensive work when there was no pack and nobody did anything. So we're going to end up with some people going to the box for that.
Sure.
You really got to try to reform that thing.
You don't have to.
Again, you're not compelled to in any sort of like laws of physics sense.
No.
But, you know, if you don't want to anger the laws of the derbies, you should probably do that.
So currently an 18-point jam for Kid, which is just amazing.
This will
Bringing
be
him up to
Race City's
120.
biggest jam.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you've got numbers.
I got some numbers on the page here.
In case a test comes up, I'll keep notes, is what you said earlier, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So there has been a little bit of an injury, so we're going to have an official timeout for a moment.
Thanks again to the medics that are here this weekend.
All right, so he is up.
Part of the event.
Any medical needs have been attended to by our brilliant medical team who has joined us this weekend.
And now Derby's lining up ready to start again. Everyone looks okay. There's some more discussions trying to make sure that there was nothing too untoward in that contact. And it appears that was just Derby.
Yeah.
It's a
Looked
reminder
like
this is
mostly
a full contact sport.
a wind knocking out is what it looked to be for me, but
All right, Merlin on the jam line for Minnesota. Up against Les Brawl.
if you would like to look at the updated bracket, Jukes, it is posted on the MRDA page on Facebook after each game.
And Les Brawl is out for lead, pointing at the penalty box there as Baron Von Beans is about to be released. So he's being aware of where the points are and who's being run down and what the pack advantage he has is. Points again as he comes past the penalty box. This time it's Samson in the box.
Star pass. Oop. Right as I say it. Star pass to York. Right as he puts it on, the whistle is blown.
I think they look for that. They say if they're just traveling around with it in their hands, it's okay. But as soon as they put it on their head, you got to call it off.
Not having it.
Yeah, it's like a moral thing. Like a little point scoring.
Let him hold it. No, it's fine. Let him hold it. No, it's cute. Let him hold it.
you
Oh,
can't-
no.
Points? No, you can't get points.
No, sir. Shout out to Dread Pirate Robin, who's watching from the Midwest. Wicked Bombshell once again jamming.
Straight to the front of the pack as they want to do, but this time being held up a little bit. They had some success in the first period, and lead jammer again. Well done to Bombshell, but Egon's out, a little slow out of the pack, but steadily coming around.
What's up now, Dan? Because, no, I've just got facts. I mean, I realized the jam's ended. They got 2 points, and that's wonderful. Merlin is Welsh. What? Merlin is Welsh. How do I know? Statman told me, and he knows everything.
But the myth telling, I'm not the way the tales.
No,
come
go
through.
on.
Oh, really?
Tell me more. Yeah.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the
What's up?
don't talk to me face. I know that look.
All of my faces are the don't talk to me face.
So, Statsman, I'm talking to you.
He speaks Welsh in that, so he knows things about that.
Right, but yeah, the retelling through our society
Sure,
as
but
we
that
know it
doesn't-
as Western
You can't
culture
say
comes
like,
through.
well, that's an American word because America uses it.
Why not? You do that about everything else.
Wow.
It's called cultural imperialism for a reason.
Be cool.
And we have another star pass this time to Quad Almighty.
I want to go down this rabbit hole so badly. Anyways, yes.
This rabbit hole. So I don't actually see Jammet Dim out there on the track.
He's not.
He's not a rabbit.
Well, he's not a white-tailed rabbit in the first place. Anyways, Quad Almighty now coming in on his first scoring pass. Fire Wally sitting in the box for a track cut.
This time he's sitting in the box before the points were scored.
I saw it. I saw it. Woo! Quad Almighty.
Really pushing
Just,
through.
yeah, he's just doing an amazing job of.
Dropping the shoulder down and saying, I'm going to get through here.
And so it goes. Oh no, sorry, I thought that was called on him. I was like, forearms for him.
Yeah, well, when you
Forearms
drop your
for
shoulder like that,
Samson.
you really got to be doing something else with a hand that we can't see from here to get that penalty.
It's 5 points for Quad Almighty. Wally is back in play, trying to bust through. This would be.
Yeah, harried all the way through to the front there, but makes it out and scores some points. That must have been holding on to some before the box and then came through. Is that 4 points? Okay.
Yeah, it was 4.
Looks like 3. The wonky finger out
It was-
there made it
yeah.
look like 3. Oh yeah, that's wonky too.
Oh, my hand is fine.
Look at that pinky.
What's wrong with my pinky?
So finger puppets don't work unless the camera's pointed at us.
Yeah.
So
My
we'll
camera's got a
continue
lot to say about everything.
that. Who's that?
Dan.
On an additional 2 points there at the end of the jam. 16 points.
Anyway, so we're going to end this jam. Doc Flatliner sitting in the box as a blocker for the Rebels. 150, a 16-point jam for Ray City. 8-point jam for Minnesota. 96 points. 19-17 left on the clock.
And the Terrors take a timeout.
Minnesota wins roller derby, the Twin City Terrors. This time out brought to you by World Roller Skates. Everything you need for roller derby. Free shipping and price candidate for orders over
Apparently, Statman did not mean it to be that much of a burn.
or visit the
Don't relay messages through me, sir.
And now Sleazer will repeat any message you send to it now with 100% added burn, apparently. It's like day-old curry.
well, that's where I live.
I feel like I could sell this service. It's now just like gears are turning in my head.
So you need a Twitter handle
I have one.
for the business.
Oh.
Burnforyou.com.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll get to it. It'll come to me. Don't worry.
There's an NXS song about burning for you. I could use that as the theme tune.
I'm not going to use NXS for anything ever.
I'm not sure Michael Hitchens wouldn't charge too much for the reuse rights.
Alrighty, back to the action here in the box. Just about 3-point advantage for Minnesota.
We have Liberal up on the line, up against Merlin.
Which is a Welsh name.
Or Melwyn, if we're going to go for the...
I will. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Now that I know
Yeah.
something you don't.
Well, no, Arthur was
now you know
either
as well.
Welsh king or
Sure.
a Roman centurion, depending who you speak
Oh.
to.
It wouldn't possibly be. Where would you even? Oh my God. Anyways,
Maybe,
Les
maybe you should
Brawl.
read a book. I don't know.
Les Brawl trying to make his way through the pack. Now joined by his final box teammate, Doc Flatliner. And a forearms call. It's because I
pushes
said his
that-
name.
Pushes that blocker to the ground on his way through. Just a little bit too much forearm on that. And goes to the box, sits down, feels shame.
Does he?
You should. One should learn from these experiences. And shame
You can
is a
learn
powerful
without shame.
Well, it's a powerful. These strong emotions are powerful learning opportunities. You know?
Coming up against suddenly all four opposing blockers.
Meanwhile, Gandalf is stuck in the pack.
Radagast nearly through.
Great offensive hitting. Now just Virginia.
Maryland did not make it through during that power play. So Les Brawl is back in. Neither of them really getting any footing here. There we go. Les Brawl popping halfway through, just a tiny bit more. And he
Around the
could be free of
outside,
this.
around the inside, around the outside again.
That's right there, anticipating his movements.
Ooh.
Knocked out of bounds, but cleverly manages to go back in, getting a no pass. And makes it out. Scoring pass now.
And two people being very agile and tough, keeping Merlin fast.
So that is what a 2-minute jam feels like.
That was a long jam.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels long for me, and I was just watching them
I
beat the
know.
snot out of each other.
So that was a 0-0 2-minute jam.
It was busy for 2 points. For
That's
0
what I'm
points.
saying. I'm like, well, then that's the end of the tournament. Good night. So at 1 o'clock, we got Montreal Mont Royals facing off against Dakota Men's Roller Derby. That will be for 6th place.
All right, taking the jam line for.
In case you were curious what's coming up next.
Is Egon Strangler.
Egon Strangler out there facing off against Kid.
Number 317.
Grimace recycling Egon back.
First, but
Yeah, this time the kid making it a starting jammer.
will not get the lead jam. Nice defensive.
Yeah.
I didn't see the no pass, no penalty call, so I was like, okay.
Yep, managed to get out, didn't get lead, but Egon was well aware of that. Managed to call the jam when he got lead, so very cleverly
It's like
choking
the
the
second
points.
he got lead. It's like, boop, boop, boop.
Must have been in his mind. He's like, I gotta get out, call it off.
So we've got 16 minutes left, 150 to 96. Nothing scored in these last few jams.
It's a lot of pain for a little gain. This time Doc straight through the outside lane, picks up lead jammer. Still half a pack, almost all the way around. And yeah, Wally's still stuck in the pack. There's a bit of protective gear on the ground now. Five points for Doc, and coming through for another scoring pass.
Doc Flatline on the rear approach. And across to the inside for 5 points.
Wally engaging a game of stacks on in the rear of the pack.
Wally coming through, star in hand. Doc still back at the back of the pack, coming back in one more time.
One more time. Trouble against those
Does Doc call it in time? Yes. So he has picked up 4 points for himself. A 14-point jam that time. 164 now to 96.
So breaking the scoreless drought for a little while. And 14 points is a good style and way of doing that.
We're in the final quarter of this exciting matchup here between these two teams. Again, just a reminder, the winner of this game will go on to play Denver at 5 o'clock today. for that
Well,
qualifier.
That was an impressive belch. I don't know whether you heard that on the ambient mic around, but I could hear it
that's
from
why
here.
we have ambient mics, am I right?
Yeah, all right.
Catching the action.
I give that a solid 4 out of 7.
For being a bench burp, sure. All right, lead jammer status goes to Les Brawl. Egon Strangler being recycled back behind Skateman Spiff.
We have seen a more even distribution of who has gotten the lead in this half, but Grace has really
Egon's really leaving a trail of bodies broken behind him as he races his way through the pack, breaking walls. But having that casual skating, you're going to call it off, aren't you, now? And sure enough.
No big deal. It's kind of what I do.
Not so much the number of jams won lead on, but it's the number of points when the lead has been maintained.
So Fire Wally's lining up again. So Egon and Fire Wally have been on alternating runs.
It's true.
It's got to take their toll emotionally and physically. So Kid's out also. Second time with the star, starting with the star.
Grimace trying to sweep out, not quite making it.
Pack spreading out long.
Oh. Thought it was lead, but it's a forearms.
Yeah, that double whistle and that one single loud penalty whistle.
It's like
sometimes
getting to Christmas and being like, oh, my stocking's so full, and finding out it's just coal. Not that it's ever happened to me, but I've
resale value on coal, isn't that
heard
terrible?
about it from other people.
Yeah.
So lead is still open if Wally gets free and clear of this. Oh, but well, theoretically lead was open. Clearly something has happened that I could not see.
Probably a no pass, no penalty we didn't see.
I will imagine.
Yeah, but Fire Wally is fighting all the way through for each of those points. Digging skates in.
I am in love with this bench coach. She's like, that's the jammer. That's the jammer right there. And I'm like, he's got his star in hand. I don't know. I like good communication. What can I say?
Right, well, yeah, that sort of good communication can be valuable, and it's clear, it's unambiguous.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear it from here, so...
oh, no, it's her.
Oh.
It's the Twin Cities one. She's somehow loud enough to be heard on the other side of the track, and I can respect that. So...
Wally sensing Kid right behind him.
Wally coming in, Kid coming in, everyone kissing the floor.
And Kid gets knocked down, falls, and puts a skate backwards and trips over the other jammer. And Kid's having a bit of a rest now because of that. Takes his cap off as soon as he hits the bench, so I think there's probably going to be a thought maybe to pass it to Quad as soon as he gets back on the track.
Right. Or, well, he came in last time. I feel like it's fairly common to sit as the jammer and immediately put it in hand because you're going to come in like a ninja. So by my count, which is only as accurate as you imagine my memory to be, this would be the 7th time the Rebels have given up a power jam to Twin City Terrors.
Interesting, the number of power jams and the score ratio. Yeah, it's almost like there's a correlation there.
Who can say?
So we have Radagast the Grey.
He was brown. Oh my gosh. Are you doing this?
Yeah.
Keep it together.
Also played in the movies by
Sylvester McCoy.
Yes, my favorite Doctor.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow, you're like the only person.
I know, it's an odd choice.
He was my second favorite for a long time.
So Peter Davidson was my Doctor.
Oh my God, we're like best friends right now. I'm gonna cry. Recently found out he's slightly misogynist. I don't know what to do with that information.
Yeah, I'm having a little paddle in the little river of denial about that until all the facts are at hand.
Maybe he misspoke. He's so beautiful. I don't understand. Anyways, where's Tom Baker on this issue? I have no idea. Kid, lead jammer for the Rebels, having come out of the penalty box. And he did come out with star on, clearly.
Yeah, there we go.
Stay eligible.
No pass, yeah. And Raceland was denied.
So that time, Merlin star off. Did he just wave bye to him?
So Harry Potter on his broomstick waved as he went past.
Later.
Laters.
Such manners. Bye, friend. So who's the best companion?
Ooh.
It's going to get real judgy real fast here. If you say Tegan, I'll take that away from you now.
No.
Shaggy out there for the Rebels. Egon Strangler for the Terrors. Ooh, wow. Shaggy's really trying to muscle his way through. Once again, we've got all 4 Terror blockers concentrated on him. He does find a way through. Lead jammer status is awarded to the Rebels. Ooh.
Comes in with speed.
Yeah, just not for long.
Yeah, not for long, but when an irresistible force hits an immovable object, there was a big boom, and all of a sudden, Egon's in the box. Yeah, don't look into the light ray.
Joined by York.
Yeah, it's a shame the rules don't let them just pass the SAR here. Right? That's like a super convenient thing.
Here you go.
Yeah, here, bro, take it. I don't need it. Yeah, I don't want it. Don't give it to me. How often does that happen? The pivot says, nah.
I don't know. Feel like they just nonchalantly like, oh, I've been swept out by the back. Sorry. Look at me, too far away. Can't touch it. So Shaggy coming through a 5-point pass that time as well. So a 15-point jam so far as the pack speeds up a bit. Shaggy's meeting coming back, being received by 3 of the Twin City Terrors. Grimace is bridging, so they can try to keep hassling Egon. Works
Definitely
out.
Doing good work keeping Egon all the way back. Yeah, Shaggy gets another 4 points. And 5 points here.
Woo!
That was an apex jump that was destined for failure.
Yeah. It's worth a try.
But, I mean, once the whistles start blowing, really how much effort are you going to put into trying to make it work, right? It's like, I'm just going to land without hitting anybody. That seems to be a good number one rule.
I don't know.
Oh, after the jam, I don't want to hit anyone.
No. So I do have feedback from the internet in case you need ideas for the best companion. Statman, who I thought for a moment may not know everything, said Donna Noble.
See, I was sticking in the classic round. Donna is definitely right up there. I was going with Romana 1. She was always good at keeping Tom Baker in check. But Leela was also pretty good in terms of being the naive person you could use as plot exposition. So she served not only a function of keeping the Doctor human, she was also able to enable storytelling. But it's almost without a doubt that K9 was one of the worst of the companions. And the next time out, I can go into my my second doctoral thesis on the subject.
I'm like, what do I do now? So that's 4 points.
Yeah, come on, Sleazer, bring it.
The answer was ace. God, you put too much thought into it.
See,
Should've
Ace
been
was
obvious.
good. Ace was good.
She's got a bag full of explosives and a bat.
Yeah, and the Doctor did amp up the bat in Resurrection.
I'm just like, you wander around with a chubby old dude. Maybe get someone who has a bat. Huh?
But when the Hand of Omega gave it the extra oomph, she did destroy it against. I mean, it did take out a couple of Daleks in the process.
I'm just saying. Plus, I don't need my Doctor to be kept human.
Well,
He's from Gallifrey.
but that was part of it from the accessibility of the viewers.
I don't need to relate to stuff. Everybody's so concerned that they're like, I can't relate to this character. I'm like, he's an alien. It's fine.
Yeah, but the important thing in storytelling is for the audience, you want to draw them out as alien, and then you want to draw them boxed in trending towards human to make them something you can relate to, and then push them away. So this thing you had a relationship to is now pushed away from you to make home the point that they really are alien.
And that's how we found out that Dan Under was an alien. The end.
Well, I have a card that says I'm an alien. Hashtag true story.
I can hear it in your voice. So good news. There's a team timeout. We only have 3 sponsors.
And if you want to be kind to your friends and you're getting a road trip home, maybe you want to visit the booth right here if you're listening.
Yeah, they've
Nerd
got
skates.
Notorious RAD. Some last of the stock, because she did sell the rest of it at RollerCon this year. So,
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is it.
This is like
the
finished.
end.
Yeah, Tara's just like.
So
"No,
it's a
I'm good."
it's a collectible item.
Yeah, and you smell bad, so stop smelling bad.
Yeah. Sleeve says you smell bad, and nobody's counteract. No one's saying she's wrong. So you probably smell bad.
It's chances are. Do you play derby? How long have you been awake? You probably smell bad. And even if you don't smell bad, you could always smell better. Unless you're cookies, and you're probably not.
Okay. I think Mamie's been listening to the stream.
All right. Doc Flatliner facing off against Maryland. Maryland being recycled back. All right, Doc Flatliner taking lead for the Rebels.
And Alistair Crowley's being really held up at the back of the pack there, forcing his way through, but meeting a solid resistance of 3.
A 5-point pass for Doc Flatliner, bringing him up over the bicentennial mark.
Actually, it means 200 years.
No, there's no years. Because a century can be 100 people. You just, as an English-speaking person, recognize it as 100 years because it's colloquial. But in fact, a century just means 100. So.
Yeah, there was a bi-century.
Oh my God. It was a 9-point jam.
9-0.
That is a more modern usage. The actual word means 100. Otherwise, there'd be an anim in it, wouldn't it?
Like in bicentennial.
That's just giving it a neuter ending. Anyways.
And look at that! Fire Wally!
Who's it? Wally.
Wally.
Wally's got lead.
Wallace Flambe.
Let's brawl out. A cutting the track penalty.
York having a seat in the box. Les Brawl now having a seat in the box as well. So I think this is 8th time giving up a power jam, but still there's pretty significant score discrepancy. So
Yeah, normally when you see that sort of a differential,
Right.
it reflected more solidly in the score.
I feel like this happened yesterday on, I can't remember which game it was though. There was like an undue amount of power jams given up, but the score was opposite what you would imagine.
These guys on it. Let's force them to bridge themselves out, creating no-back situations.
Egon going back into play as one of the Rebels has a seat in the box. That is up Chuck Norris.
York is
And hopefully he keeps that out of the penalty box because we don't need that.
In the Latin sentence, meaning 100. It's a neuter. That's how they. I used my degree today. So I have a degree in Latin because I did not ever want to have a proper job. Anyways, so Les Brawl is through, having completed his initial, chatting up his jam ref. That is a 10-point jam, 14-point jam from Minnesota. Bring him up to 120 against Ray City's 206. They picked up nothing this time. We are at 240.
Oh, and the late minute correction to 15 points.
Oh, well.
Tara's coach just giving some good on the fly coaching to their team, saying they need an 80 point jam for this game.
Just tie it up. Just tie it up, guys.
Yeah, why not?
Tie it up.
Got a whole 2 minutes left. Let's make it interesting.
I believe in yous. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I believe in y'all. Which would you prefer?
All y'all? How many people are there out there?
More than one. Shell has lead jammer status. Woo, really coming up at a hot clip. Maryland. Shell gets to the pack and calls it off right on the 2-minute mark of the period clock.
And Merlin Magic's up a couple points.
So an official review is being called by the Twin City Terrors. They are out of timeout, so it could potentially be.
Yeah, it's always. I think it's always worth asking a question because a question is going to take more than 60 seconds to answer,
Yeah.
even if it's.
Some people believe in honesty, though. That's the thing.
Well, if I can get someone in the box as well, you know.
You were just going to roll out there and be like, are those hockey laces?
A little bit of extra.
If I was going to go with something, I'd be like, hey, let's look at Egon's knee pad there. It's held on with a bit of tape. I think that's actually being held on by that tape.
What, the
In which
cap
case
of it?
Yeah, which means that's an equipment violation if it's actually not structurally attached.
That's a good thing you're not a coach, isn't it?
Yep. I don't think I should ever be a coach.
I'm feeling like maybe no.
No.
Or maybe you'll be the best coach. And by
No,
the best,
nobody needs
I mean
that
the
in
worst.
their lives. Nobody
No,
needs.
no.
You see how argumentative I am with you? Imagine what I'm like with a ref.
Before today, we were such good friends. Or were we? I mean,
But we have to balance out the whole Peter Davidson, Sylvester McCoy thing.
I'm with you on this, though. Oh, we got too close there. And
Yeah,
they're,
that's
like,
right, we had
pushing
to-
me away. Like every other dude in my life. That's cool.
Well,
Just kidding. No.
wow, yeah,
No, I'm
I got
just-
nothing right now.
It's not completely true.
Or is it every other, like alternating, or all of them?
9 out of 10.
9
you
out
know,
of 10, right.
at least then I know which one's really special.
It's the ones that push
Question
you away
mark?
through by accident, or the ones that actually work at it and have it honed
That
to a
makes you
craft. 'cause
special, doesn't it?
that's showing I care.
All right.
It's like haunting somebody.
That's how I show I care. Doc Flatliner lead. Fire Wally is 3. Looks a bit pained on this though.
Yeah, he's been out high, very high
Yeah,
rotation this period.
We talked about this yesterday. Oh, sorry. Doc Flatliner going to the box on a forearms.
Yeah, a bit of jammer on jammer action, and especially when somebody's tired, a little forearm
Right.
tap that would normally be fine could drop someone to the ground.
Something I talked about yesterday with Piggy is this floor is not polished concrete. It's actually a bit rubber. So like there's just enough give on the floor that it very likely causes endurance drain more quickly
Oh,
than
yeah,
you'd imagine.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it just takes like the slightest bit of squash and it's like, oh, my legs.
And
So,
seeing
yeah.
people skate off this track, as soon as they hit the sport court, they leave it, they suddenly lurch forward as
Yeah.
they're gone stationary.
Because I thought it was painted concrete.
Yeah, you can feel it sort of.
Yeah. I finally was like, it's a little bit bouncy. So Egon headed back to the box. This will be the last jam unless something crazy happens because the jam clock is above the period clock and there's no lead. In what circumstances would there be another jam?
Well, say in 3 seconds from now, when the period clock expired, if there was an injury timeout or some other what
There
would
you
be
go.
considered unnatural end, then maybe they could grant another jam. At this point, I'd say
We're good.
no.
this,
yeah.
is, this has happened.
Trying to be a single-handed wall.
Wally's watching. He's just, did you just see him? He was like, I'm just going to stand here. And then he was like, just kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't need that in my life.
I don't need that in my life. Yeah, that's fair.
This is a 3-9. And we have an unofficial score. Race City 213, Minnesota 132.
Can't believe that jam was just 3-9. It was just like sick. It's like that 2-minute 0-0.
That was a solid one to look at
That was
and
amazing.
go, wow. That,
Well, that's why I'm like,
Beating
I
the
feel like a zillion points should have just happened, but it was amazing to watch. And so now our finalized score: Race City Rebels at 213, Minnesota Twin City Terrors at 132. So if you tune in at 1 p.m., as I said before, Montreals will take up against Dakota Men's Roller Derby Norsemen, and then at 3 o'clock we'll have our first qualifier, which is the Philadelphia Hooligans up against Austin Anarchy, and at 5 p.m. Denver Ground Control will face off against Minnesota, right?
Yeah. So,
Race City.
Oh, sorry. I read the other bracket again. The winner, Race City. Don't you shake your head at me.
That's right. That's right. Beer garden was
So thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned in.
And it's been a pleasure talking to you, Caesar, and hopefully it's been a pleasure listening to us. I'm Dan Under. I'll see you later on today. And I'm Dan Under.
That's the most awkward sign off. I'm going to leave it.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.